Hey family, Grand Rising. Hope everyone is well and enjoying their day. I, took a day off, kind of forced it. And I was just thinking about a whole, yes, I do have a beverage, it is my day off and I am, I do like to mix different drinks, try different stuff. So, yeah, the whole like stop snitching. It's like if you're not doing anything wrong, right, and you didn't initiate anything, and you're constantly like, if they, you set the boundary and they, try to jump over the boundary, try to play hopscotch and double dutch with your boundaries, say something. Like, forget that. Stop letting people letting that no snitching and how people are going to perceive you. If you're doing it with genuine intent, good intent, then you'll be protected. You don't have to worry about who's doing, if you follow your intuition as well after that. And stop letting people bind you to something, like bind and hex you, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bind you to some of their trauma, or something they think that you deserve that is actually them. And don't be afraid to speak out. Like it could be saving someone else. So if yeah, that whole stop snitching, especially in the Black community, that is in and of itself poisonous, because you're supposed to say something if someone's doing something wrong. Like, we had parents for that reason. We have the Most High for that reason. We pray. We that's why we pray, is because we're telling someone. But sometimes you're guided to tell someone on the earthly realm. But stop letting people try to bind you, or stop letting people actually bind you to a person, place, thing, situation, to a trauma that is actually theirs. It may bother you, but they're doing it because it will actually bother them more than it will bother you, because that's really theirs to have and to hold. And is a return to sender, is keep it to yourself. Like, that is your that's your energy, and that's that's all you. That is all you. You don't have to share that with me, and that, especially in that way, you could share with me, but like, not toxically. So I've been writing and everything like that, and just whatever pops into mind. And yeah, just stop accepting those. Set those boundaries to let you know that does not, we don't ingest it on an ancestral realm. We don't ingest that, like, presently or futuristically. And may it be wiped from my bloodline historically, my ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, through the Most High. And because I do this to destroy the legacy, so they can deem us, what's the word I'm looking for, reprehensible. Yeah, reprehensible, to try to, in a way, and like a very passive aggressive, a very intrusive, right, method of it's kind of like putting a spiritual virus, and it's kind of like, how they bought blankets and diseases, and it wiped out people. It's like a spiritual genocide. And that's what people try to do to you when they constantly cross your boundaries, and you don't retaliate. And if you don't say anything, they're just going to keep doing it. If you retaliate, then it's a possibility that you can accumulate karma for that retaliation. Yeah, and that's it's just like, I'm bringing it back, the N word, right? It's well, basically, at the core of it, the intention, the spell work behind it. And so I'm just looking at some beautiful scenery right now. The spell work that's behind it, and like, what it's really trying to do is to bind a whole group, race, and everything like that. And the whole point is to say that you're behavior, character, or lack thereof is reprehensible. And, you know, which was, you know, not true in those times. And, you know, as far as we know, they were all just minding their business, and, you know, they came over with contracts and a smile. So, you know, and they, you know, kind of signed their bloodline away, so to speak. Someone did it for them. I'm pretty sure, you know, there's ancestors who, you know, caught wind of it and tried to fight it and everything like that on the behind the scenes, but, you know, they would never, you know, make those people known. And that's another thing I wanted to cover. Stop making cowards known. Stop making people who commit crimes, stop putting their name social media. It's kind of like, let me see, 420, like, for example, is actually Adolf Hitler's birthday. So I celebrate 430, 430, whenever, I believe it's 430, which is his death. The point is, do not celebrate. I don't celebrate on that dude's birthday, because, you know, because of the imprint he has on the history timeline. And, you know, you don't want to keep giving that. I don't want to keep giving that energy directly or indirectly, right? But yeah, the N word is, yeah, basically saying that everything we did as a people, you know, what really they might as well have, because they came up with all kinds of different names all across the board for people who have melanin, and people who are close enough to the equator to obtain that, is that a mineral in their body, you know. And, you know, that's not a us problem. That is a them problem. That, you know. And you know what? There were people within our own. Like they say, it really do be your own. There was people in our own who helped us, you know, or helped them put us in slavery and, you know, systemic racism and everything the world, you know, is trying to recover from today. You know, you could tell in the children and in the youth, this beautiful thing that I can see, the influence. You know, some situations of the world has changed the youth for the better, and it's really a beautiful thing, you know. And the N word is like a kind of like trying to put a demonic attachment. That's what I was saying to. I guess repurpose was the wrong word. I'll say. Let me see. What did I write down here? Linguistics. I forgot what the term was. Linguistic reappropriation is what it is. So they've, you know, they're constantly trying to appropriate it, so people of, you know, that were further from the equator, you know, can feel comfortable using it. Whatever it. To me, I'm kind of like, you know, just there's intent. You know, there's also the intent, the tone of voice. You know, it's a very tedious word, a very sensitive, you know, sensitive subject. But I'm here, you know, really just wanting to transmute the energy. It's kind of like don't forget the origins and the real intention of it. And, you know, the whole thing is we're here to transmute even the nastiest of energy. And unfortunately, this word is a part of the nastiest energy, really globally, but more so in the United States of America. So, yeah, reclaim, reappropriation, resignification. Yeah, resignification. Sorry, I was really struggling with that one. You know, making it more significant. And if you bring it's kind of like a boomerang, you know, you toss it back into the universe and try to, you know, diminish it so that it's not used, and then it comes back with more force, you know, if that makes sense. But if you got to be able to catch it and keep throwing it in a loop until it finally cleanses the energy of the word, or until that energy is completely depleted, you know, or spread sparsely enough throughout the universe that, you know, it seems insignificant in a denser reality. And I really hope that's making sense. I'm trying to be careful on this one, you know, because I don't, you know, I think why I struggle so hard with videos and putting them out is like I don't want to, you know, I am mortified with leading people the wrong way. But really, I'm just trying to lead you to your own perspective, to do your own research. Like, don't just, sit here and take any YouTuber's word for it, because nobody, is all knowing, all seeing. Do your own research, get your own perspective. I mean, and if you have something to put out there that you think could be of use or helpful to somebody else, just every cell phone has a camera pretty much, and you can download YouTube and upload your own videos. Maybe I'll see you around someday, who knows. Yeah, so basically all these mean reappropriation, reclamation, resignification, process by which a group claims a word, reclaims a word, artifacts that were previously used in a disparaging way of that particular group. And really at the core, like it says, any person whose behavior is regarded as reprehensible, which is bad character or lack thereof, that's just the base of it. Now they put spell work over and said it was just one race of people, but it's really just anybody with trash character. It's people who are I would say like that are not willing to do the work on themselves to try to make themselves or just their environment, their community, the world possibly a better place. They're not willing to learn. They're unwilling, uneducated, unintelligent, unwilling to like do the right thing, and that's basically what the N word is. No matter of course they put different accents on the end of the word these days, like the they got the hard ER, they got the AAH and all that other stuff, but it's had a lot of power. That is definitely a spell, because look at the anger. Like a spell is like more about controlling someone else's emotions and free will, and if you can control a person's emotions, there's a good chance you can control their free will. Because our emotions still have power over them. They're a powerful thing. They're a powerful tool you can tap into and use for your greater good, greatest and highest good. If you, are in your, either on your journey and going towards your north node, or already in your north node, you can use, you can definitely have a better trajectory on your y-axis. See, and sometimes to transmute, you got to code switch, like different dialects, different slangs and everything like that. That's pretty much code switching. Like you can go from classy to hood. That's a code switch. For you switched up to handle whatever situation you needed to handle in a moment. I still find myself sometimes code switching when I'm talking to different ethnicities. When I'm around people that look like me, I'll depending on what's going on or what type of people that look like me are around, because it's just like groups, subgroups and everything like that. And it's kind of like I'm having a internal struggle about like how clustered together do we want to come, because we have our tribes and everything like that. We have the people who fit with and we have the people who don't. But the whole thing is, it's having differences and not having to be enemies. Having disagreements, not agreeing with something, and be able to come to a some sort of resolution, and without having to be like straight up enemies, without having to go to war and stuff like that. Like, we're adults, man. Like, why is it that when you don't get your way, you want to fight? It's like, why do you automatically resort to violence? And I was angry at some point, but fighting was never my first. It was never my go-to. It was just like, we can talk about it, and name calling and stuff. I've done that too, like, but that was short-lived. That was kind of like, it's not me, because I grew up around that name calling. For a minute I started thinking my name was a-hole, like, which I know I can be, so I wasn't tripping about it at times. But then there's times you like to hear my real name would actually be nice, and Yeesh. Oh, I can't turn it around at this point I'm recording. That sucks. Damn. Okay, I was gonna try to turn the camera around to give you guys a different view, but it is what it is. And okay. I'm trying to think. Like I said, I'm trying to be careful. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're all just walking each other home. And there's, you know, it's just like unnecessary, like, what is it? I call gossip a time-wasting activity. This is a, you know, time-wasting activity. It's just like your resource. One of your greatest resources is your mind, right? And like, for some reason, we can't all get along well enough to have discussions, not arguments, because arguments are two people refusing to see the point of the other, or multiple people. It's just refusing to see another's point and saying, hey, I'm right, you know, that's that, and I'm gonna stand here and like go back and forth with you until, you know, until one of us backs down, which typically doesn't happen. It's just agree to disagree and move on and find a way. If there is a disagreement that is stagnant to your connection or relationship, attachment, whatever, with another person, place, thing, you know, find ways to circumvent it instead of being like, oh, you know, completely just detaching. That's kind of a last resort, or having an argument or all-out war. That is the last, for me, that's the last resort. I'm not trying to fight and all that stuff. And, you know, when I was, it was just like, there was a lot going on. It was just like, I was like well overdone, justified, like charred, justified. And yeah, you know, because I'm thinking of a time where the government shut down because a group of dudes couldn't get they couldn't come to an agreement. And it's kind of like, this country should be, you know, as much money that comes through this country, that is printed out in this country, it should be sufficient enough to run itself without these people. And that's what I was also looking at. It's kind of like, we don't, like, us workers, or us laborers, you know, like, really, we're the ones that are useful. I mean, they could say what they want to, but we're the ones with the skills, you know, like, you know, paid labor is like they said, paid labor. And we can, you know, we can get together from all different nationalities, throw our own parties and stuff like that, you know, which I've seen quite a bit of over the past few weeks. And, you know, it doesn't have to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh man, I'm trying not to. You know, we don't need them to do that, to like live a lifestyle that's worth living. Like, it looks like, you know, by buying all that bullshit. I'm sorry. Because it's just like, you know, I would like to go out on a boat too and just be in the middle of the water, but, you know, can't afford it. But I'm also not mad and like, what is it? Coveting someone else's stuff, you know? It's just like, I'm just happy, you know? It's just like, if I'm supposed to get there, I will. And, you know, I actually want to learn how to drive a boat. I want to learn how to drive a plane too. So, you know, just to have those skills would be awesome, right? So, but I also like to know about more of the bakery side of cooking. And, sorry, give me a second. Yeah, baking, because that's not my strong point. Sorry, it's like the first time not the first time, but, you know, when there's silence like this, it's kind of like, let me stop getting distracted. You know, learning different things, and we can all pick up on things from each other, especially like the cultures that are more into the arts and everything. Like, we can all get together and, like, you know, like trade things that make each other, you know, enhances each other's lives a little more. Like, you know, be it culinary, be it dancing, be it, you know, like just a big ass like festival, you know, just like maybe in a field, you know, because it's like us, the laborers, the event setup, takedown, busters, servers, you know, everybody in the hospitality industry, the service industry, you know, we can all like get together and just like, you know, trade off a little bit. I'm not saying like, oh, trade ain't your seat. If that's what brings you to the door of, you know, whatever your rung of the ladder is, and that's cool. That's what you're guided to do, because the whole reason the ladder to heaven was split because of our own division. You know, it was because of the chaos and confusion that was created by external forces, energies. And it's not a race thing. It really isn't, you know, even though I, you know, saying further from the equator, less pigment and everything like that, but it's really not. It's just like some energy came down and, you know, came through a portal or whatever and just destroyed the ladder to heaven and destroyed the gateway to heaven. And that is the energy that keeps us, you know, that has most of the majority of the population so far removed from it, or is working on it, you know. And they, you know, it's kind of like you push back the line each time frame, each timeline, and it gets pushed back a little more. So raising the frequency is definitely changing our trajectory and bringing us there. I'm like noticing the changes, you know, like certain groups aren't as looked down upon as they are, because these curses are breaking, you know, like they're breaking generational curses, these hexes, these binds and spell works and things like that. And people are starting to see, like, you know, all this nonsense they had over us was an illusion. Like, we don't, you know, the whole agreement with the middleman, you know, is to get somebody to, I guess, mediate, you know, proper pay, because there's so many people, right? Proper pay and everything, but all they've done is be real creative of finding different ways to pick from our pockets. You know, in California, you got a tax for us just to exist here. They have you know, I mean, they tax everything over here. It's crazy. So you have to, you know, be work focused, work heavy if you're not making, I would say somewhere about $50 an hour, just about. I might be pushing it a little bit, but yeah, not much to live the life I live, you know, simple, you know, enjoying what is already available to me through nature, and, you know, some little a little bit of a mechanical help, you know. That's really about it. And but yeah, just a get together where it's just, you know, like multicultural festivals. Everybody has their own station, and, you know, for everybody who's curious about other cultures, you know, we can do something like that. I'm putting that out in the universe, you know. If it exists, I haven't seen it. Of course, I should have did some research before I got on here. Yeah, just like, you know, even like maybe in a vineyard, just don't trash the place, and, you know, like, make good examples of yourselves, and, you know, make your people proud, make Mother Gaia proud. Don't piss her off, please. Don't litter on these beautiful spaces. Act like you can go somewhere, right? But yeah, I'm manifesting that right now. That would be actually really beautiful. And so that is, you know, like, because usually I go somewhere and I don't see like people who look like me really getting along. Like I went to a Black Radio Festival, and like I said, just saw black people just getting along. I didn't see a single altercation, a single argument, a single, oh, he looked at me wrong. I'm like, first of all, you gotta be a soft motherfucker for you to be triggered about somebody looking at you wrong, or, you know, like they didn't say anything or anything, they just looked at you. It's just like, what? Because I understand, you know, there's different energies you could pick up on and everything like that, but, you know, don't start none, won't be none. You know, all that person did was look, you know. But it was so beautiful to see how, you know, how much grace my, you know, people who look like me were commingling with, you know, making connections and everything like that. And yeah, It was like, and I was also, you know, watching energies play out, little devilish energies who wanted to attach themselves to both me and another person of my color, you know, my who looks like me, I'll say that. And you know, it's kind of like monkey, and they were playing monkey in the middle, but with themselves in the middle. And so that was a fun dance to watch. Because it's like, though, like I've had a sister like that I'm leaving in the past, right? But it's part of this example. The situation I was in has been used, weaponized in that way to keep me separate from other people. But it's like, it's not me that keeps me separate, because I keep the same energy. The thing is, like, they're able to go over, and the other person not aware of what they are or could be doing, right? And I could be wrong, you know, and then their energy changes, and then it's like, oh, okay, you know, you made your decision, free will. I'm not here to control anyone. I'm just here to you know, share what I know, what I, you know, my perspective, and that's really it. And you know, that energy right there is what was the spiral up the gate, the ladder to heaven. You know, it's kind of like, it reminds me of the DNA strands, you know, that little, you know, thing that it kind of sneaks up your strands and, you know, attacks certain points that are certain chromosomes and everything like that. And now it's you know, it's being carried over generation recessively or dominantly, right? And you know, like, people who are accepting this toxic bullshit, these narratives, these you know, bad characteristic traits and everything like that are part of the problem. So when I say, you know, like, oh, don't go run and tell everything, but if somebody's like, you know, kind of trying to traumatize you over and over, fucking speak up, man. Like, there's no need for it. Like, if you can't settle it there on the spot, leave it where it went wrong. You know, just leave it there. It's like, you either finish it where it went wrong, or you leave it where it went wrong. Don't sit there and carry that shit, because that's poisonous to you. When you sit up and carry something that is of no longer of service to you. It may have been of service to you as a test in that moment, but don't let that shit follow you if it's not, like, you know, something that heals you. You know, because you can be healed in a certain spot or activity or event, whatever. You can be healed in that moment, and that is what you carry with you, or you can learn the lesson in that moment. That is what you're supposed to leave there. You're supposed to learn the lesson, take the lesson, you know, chew the meat, spit out the bones, take the lesson with you, and leave the incident in and of itself right there. That I believe is the lesson of, like, you know, altercations, or like the starts of our altercations. And I think with that, I'm gonna leave it there. I think I've covered the 3 things that I really wanted to cover today. Hopefully enough of it made sense to get the message across to you the way it was intended, you know. So with that, love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Drink your water. Get plenty of rest. Like, I've been working just on stuff I didn't even have to pick up. I was just, you know, I'm just there to enhance my skills and, you know, just be doing something, I guess, you know, like, in learning new things, you know. And of course, I'm a foodie, so being, you know, doing what I do for a living, it's just like, I just want to be on the scene with all these different recipes and, you know, trying out delicious food. So it's fun in it, but it's also like, yeah, it's still, you know, where I'm like making money and stuff. So it's not work, because I'm still passionate about it, but it's just like, you know, it's just like me burning the candle at both ends. Like, I'm having, I guess you could say, not really. I'm having too much fun, for lack of a better term. But anyways, again, love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Drink plenty of water. Get rest, and definitely get you some you time, me time. Like, that is so important to, you know, just straight quiet like it is out here, and just self-reflect, you know, do your healing work, you know, maybe light some sage and some incense, and yeah. Until next, guys. See you guys next video. Bye.